Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Welcome back to the show, Larry, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, we do have that holiday coming up. The office will be closed on Monday, and it's always great to be on the show, Jim.
Larry, you're one of the hardest workers I know in the mining and mineral development business and recycling, so that means you must have had another new news release this week.
Yes, we did. We had a very good progress report on what we're doing on the pilot plant to maximize everything that we can. And, we had 92% recovery on a continuous basis, which is good, not like the batch, which is done in batches. We had actually had a 99.5% recovery on that, but that gives us a goal to shoot for, to bring that 92% up to the range of the 99%. So that should be good news for the listeners. It's certainly good news for us here. I know people get tired of what they call waiting, but I try to keep them informed as much as possible. And, there's been some complaints, but mostly a lot of kudos for keeping them informed. When I used to be a heavy trader in the market, I found that getting hold of the CEO or the company, for that matter, was almost impossible to get news out of them. And usually in that case you end up losing your money. But no, we try to keep our share base informed. And I'd like to talk about a few other things that we're doing, Jim, that I think is very essential. You're seeing all kinds of releases out there. There's lots of recyclers coming out of the woodwork. You go to their site, you don't see anything, and most of them are private. You don't see anything about what process they're using or what they are doing. But I'd say the majority of them are producing a black mass, which they're selling to smelters or to refiners, depending how clean it is. And I'm not seeing the money in that, but I would say that would be 80 to 90% of all of the work that's being done and announced out there about recycling is black mass. Now, we have to, just going back to my first statement there, we have to maximize the design. I have been in the mining business for 50 years, public arena for over 40. And it's something that's very important that you've seen it. You've seen what's happened when you don't do enough preliminary work. You've seen big projects fail, go into bankruptcy, and I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars. So no, you have to do your homework, and the devil's in the details. So we have to get that down. One thing I've learned is you don't want to go to the market with an inadequate project, and we're trying to avoid that. Some of the other things that we want to do is maximize recoveries, simply because we have a closed-loop process, and we don't want anything going back into the environment. Now, you're already seeing some companies that are having permitting problems, and those permitting problems are, let's put it this way, if you don't have a total answer or a total solution, you end up with waste product. Where's it going to go? How much carbon dioxide is going into the air? That sort of thing. So it's getting more and more difficult to permit, and we want to ease that process by having a total, complete environmentally friendly and closed-loop operation. So permitting is going to be very important in the future, just like it is with mining. You can't just throw up a mill in the middle of the bush like you did back in the 50s. You've got to go through a permitting process, and I've gone through several of those, spent millions on the permitting, and we don't want to get caught in that crusher. Now, the other thing that people talk about all the time is the NDAs. Why can't I announce them? Well, NDA stands for non-disclosure agreements. And in order to get companies involved with us, like battery manufacturers, we have to enter into NDAs. As a matter of fact, NDAs seem to be in every stream that we're involved with. And so I can't announce a company. I'd like to. You'd be surprised at the companies that we have talked to. But we have to have to enter into NDAs in order for them to talk to us. So I just want everybody to know that I'd love to be able to disclose the names of those companies, but I can't. And that makes it a little bit difficult to move the visibility, I guess you'd say, of the company forward. Realize that there are serious players out there that are interested in what we're doing. So, we have to move with the flow. And the flow is NDAs are a huge part of everything that we do. So, I'm sorry guys, but I can't divulge those names. I get lots of emails wanting to do that. And not only that, but I get lots of emails that start out with, it seems like X company has a similar process to you. And we follow that closely. And I've never seen anything in the public arena that would even begin to describe what they're doing. So I can't see how they come up with the idea that they're the same as us. And but it takes up a lot of time to talk about those sorts of things. Is all we can say is there's not enough information in the public arena for us to compare our project to their project. And I know that we are probably the only, aside from the J.B. Strobel, who has disclosed what they're doing. J.B. Strobel's recycling is different than ours. He does use high heat, and but I think he's on the right track. And maybe one day he'll phone us up and want to combine our operations, which would be great for me and great for the company. So, but the J.B. Strobel is, I'd have to say, is the only guy that's transparent aside from us out there. And so we can talk about him and compare our technologies. Now, ours is strictly metallurgical. There's no high heat involved. And so there's a major difference between us. I don't know about recoveries or anything like that because that was never spoken about. But, so I've included an article by J.B. Strobel out there. And that reminds me, Jim, that back in 2010, when Tesla was first getting their legs under them, Dan McGorty, who's on our advisory committee and worked with presidents in the D.C. area, got a hold of JB and got us in contact with Elon Musk. And we had a couple of emails back and forth. I'm trying to convince him that he should be looking at manganese as a good cathode material, lithium manganese, a clean material that we can produce from Artillery Peak. And but as you know, he moved ahead with lithium cobalt, so that did not work out. Let's put it that way. And so I'm pretty sure that he's at least aware of us out there. And the major thing is that we do try to get in to talk to the right people all over the world. But in the last little while, the right people have been contacting us. So that's a good way to end the podcast, Jim, is to say that the company has a who's who of NDAs out there, and sooner or later something will gel. Now, I'm asked, why haven't I done a deal yet if my process is so good? Well, the first answer is the process is good. The technology is solid, and they only have to go through our releases to see that that's so. But I'm not a battery manufacturer, and I'm not sitting in that boardroom, and the decision makers are, for some reason or another, not pursuing recycling as a environmentally friendly thing to do. But that's going to happen, and we're going to be there when it does.
Larry, for people brand new to American Manganese, what's the company all about? Where are you traded and under what symbols?
Okay, the company is a critical metals company that it was involved in the recovery of manganese from very low-grade deposits in the United States. We developed the process, which was patented, and is patented in 4 different countries. And that process allowed us to take 2 to 3% grades and turn it into well, let's put it this way. Our costs were similar to the Chinese costs for producing the same type of material. So that was working out well. We spent about $20 million on that, right up to a completed pre-feasibility study. And the price of manganese, it was a race to the bottom on when we were going to get the feasibility done. And the price of manganese was going to crater, and it was cratering all through that study. So it ended up to be a non-profit situation. And we've taken that technology, that's a cornerstone of our recycling, and now we have lots of information out there on our recycling process. So the company is heavily involved in recycling, but it's also reactivating some of its manganese. So it's looking great, Jim.
Larry, how can people contact the company?
Well, they can contact the company by going to our website, AmericanManganeseInc.com. They can phone me, 778-574-4444, or they can send me an email at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com. And we have a great website out there, AmericanManganeseInc.com, that they can get do all of their due diligence on.
And happy Thanksgiving Day and happy Columbus Day to our American listeners.
Thank you, Jim.
My guest has been Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on October 9th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.